I'm just going to get out in front of this thing before it becomes a big deal. I'm just going to just put my cards on the table and own up to something. This video here, this is this was a Hare and Hounds race we did Thursday night. Last weekend, my top 200 place, my pretty big results at the Dirty South, top 200, I think. I'm not sure exactly. And I got second in this, and then the Thursday before I did really well. I think I might have won that Zwift race, or I know I've won a Zwift race at some point in the past, our Thursday night race series with, a handful of guys. So, they're all bogus. I'm racing illegally. If this was the 90s, I would be set out for high hematocrit. They used to test riders for hematocrit. That's how they knew if you did, that's how they kept them from killing themselves with EPO. My hematocrit, I got a full workup the other day. My hematocrit was 51.5%, which would put me in the timeout zone for having too high. Now, I'm not doping. I can't afford EPO. I've looked into it. I can't afford any dope, actually. I can barely afford Tylenol and like ibuprofen and Red Bulls and caffeine and stuff and coffee, but I can't afford the high octane stuff. But yeah, so my hematocrit's high because I probably don't drink enough water. That's it. That right there is probably why. That, and I also have awesome super thick blood, not doped blood. But anyway, yeah, so unless maybe the biological passport isn't going to catch up with me and maybe my results will stand. But anyway, let's look at this. This is probably our last Thursday night Zwift race of the year. We were getting pretty big. We had like 8 or 9, 10 people, maybe, I don't know, for these things. And Jeff Mox put it on. Now, Jeff is the guy, you can't see him yet. I got Justin on my left here. I got Isaac on my right. Justin's not taking off because he's the Hare. Justin's half our age and double our watts per kilogram. So there's really, it's not really a race. It's kind of just like, it's like him torturing us, really. I forgot to take off, so I got to put in some big power here to catch up to those guys. But because my blood is so thick, I really don't have any trouble catching up to them. It's quite easy, actually. So, yeah, truth be told, I've actually been feeling a lot better recently on the bike, having some pretty good results. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I have been trying a lot harder to drink more fluids, especially lots of salty Gatorade, liquid IV, stuff like that, about an hour before working out. I think my body seems to like to just shed water, and I think, I got low blood plasma. I've been believing this for a long time. When I tried to talk to doctors about it, they told me I was stupid and not to worry about it. My body would always have enough plasma. But, yeah, my hematocrit, dude, it was 51.5, and the last doctor said, hey, maybe you need to drink more water and get your, your blood plasma. So, bad deal on this race. You can see my power just went out. I did not just decide to coast there. I was having power drops because my dongle with my Ant Plus stick had gotten moved, and it was not close enough. So, I didn't realize that. So, I'm going to lose power several times. But because I was feeling so well and my blood was so thick, I don't really have any trouble catching up to these guys. I'm pretty superior when it comes to cycling. In pretty much everybody. Like, I'm quite a bit better than Justin. I just don't want him to know it because I'm saving up all my, I'm saving up for something or other. But okay. Anyway, Hare and Hounds race. This has been a lot of fun. This video here, I'm going to kind of do a double duty on this. I'm going to talk about this race I recorded, but also I want to talk about my training. This has been a big change in training for me. In the past, I've done random Zwift rides. A lot of I'd usually start with a pace partner, get dropped from the 1.5, 1.4, 1.3 pace partners at the beginning because literally I could not hold sometimes 120 watts and I feel like crap. That's how bad I am sometimes. But this year I've done something different. I did a lot of banded rides with a local group. Started up a Monday night, Wednesday night, and Saturday morning rides. And I have been doing these rides on Zwift pretty much the whole time. I got invited to the group, and I've really enjoyed it. Now, banded rides are kind of weird on Zwift because I can literally just barely pedal and still go as fast as the whole group. Or I can attack as hard as I want, and I can't drop the whole group. So sometimes it's annoying. It feels sort of communistic, You're like, I don't even have to work, and I'm going to get pulled along just fine. But I found that, honestly, I would just use it to my advantage because it was like you could do great workouts. You could do a lot of intervals and stuff, and then pedal easy, but the group will move you along, and then you can attack, and you can't drop the group. And in the long run, I really enjoyed the group. It was fun. It was like, it gave me kind of like, I'd feel bad if I missed it, you know. And I did a lot of Saturday mornings with the group. I did a lot of the Monday and I did almost every Monday and Wednesday night with the group. It is a fun group to ride with, and Chris Myers, who put it together, just did a great job keeping, you know, the group kind of going. But it's getting pretty close to the end of the Zwift season, and I am definitely done with Zwift. I am ready to get done with this. So look at that. We got Jeff pulling. Now, Jeff didn't really want to race, and we kind of encouraged him. He's been dealing with some stuff himself, like not feeling great, and so he wasn't wanting to race. And I was like, dude, just race. Just go for it. Just work hard. See how you feel. He was actually set out of the Dirty South, which I thought was like, I understand why he did it, but it was such a bummer to me because I know he's been training really hard and he's made huge improvements, and he decided to volunteer and set out the race when he could have, you know, showed off those big improvements. But maybe he did the right. He probably did the right thing. I'm sure he did. So we got Isaac in the front. Isaac's really strong. He's going to the front, pulling hard. So yeah, doing the banded Zwift rides gave me some pretty consistent training where it was a lot of zone 2 with a little bit of interval work kind of thrown in there. But no, I'm not doing like structured training here, and I'm not doing like anything that I probably, you know, the amount of volume that I probably need. So let's fast forward this race a little bit and see how it's going. And look at that. I'm on the front pulling, doing big watts, Golson watts, pulling the group. I actually felt really good on this, and I had to drop my power quite a bit. Even though I was dropping, my power was totally dropping to zero sometimes. I had to cut back and let these guys hang with me a few times. And so, you know, not to be full of myself, but I was feeling really good this night, better than I have, you know, in a while. So, okay, so besides the banded rides with that group, I also did our Thursday night races, which was my, you know, my big my volume and my intensity. This was my intensity. These rides we usually did were pretty short, you know, like 20-30 minute efforts, pretty much full gas efforts. Hare and Hounds race, sprint races, full out races. We pretty much did something every week that stressed my cardiovascular system a lot. I did not go to the gym. I did a handful of core exercises when I could remember to do them, but I didn't do nearly enough core exercises. I did not do much cross training. I did some walks with Shauna. I never got out and really did any hiking or anything. I did do some trail work, which gave me some sort of like functional strength training, but I didn't do nearly as much as I'd done in the past. Like last year, I did a lot more. I think I did quite a bit more trail cleaning, but a lot of that stuff I didn't have to do this year. I did it last year. I did do the mountain biking when I had a chance, you know, but not as much as last year either because the weather wasn't too conducive this winter. I did get out for several good gravel rides leading up, and one good mountain bike ride leading up to the Dirty South. So let's see, how did I turn out? Well, I had my best result ever. I beat my previous best time by over half an hour, which is a lot. I mean, like a tremendous result for me. And lately I've been feeling really, really, really good on rides. Hopefully that stays with me. I don't know if it's got to do so much with, you know, my training's about the same. It's about the same hours as it has been recently. I've been averaging about, I got 33 hours in January, 33 hours in February. So, you know, what's that? That's 7.5 hours a week. And that includes Zwifting and walking. So, you know, and a lot of that's not, you know, like I said, it's not structured. It's not very intense. Some of it's pretty easy riding. But that's good hours for me. That puts me in, I think, a pretty good place right now. I've got over 1,000 miles, virtual miles on the bike at this point, mostly virtual miles. And I always feel like when you 1,000 miles, when you get that 1,000, that's when you start waking up your body to the year. Hopefully I can keep that moving. So getting back to the race here, I have now dropped Jeff. We've dropped Isaac. I didn't want to drop Jeff. I don't really know. I didn't mean to. And I see him dangling, and I'm watching his power, and I'm like, I think he can get back on. I'm like, you can do it, Jeff, you know, and I'm kind of like, I'll go hard, then I'll try to be like, okay, I'm going to ease up here, and I'm going to let Jeff catch on. and I'm sort of indecisive because I know Justin's coming on, but also I know there's no reason. So I'm like, maybe I really wanted to get Jeff kind of fired up. I want him to get fired up for riding. So I said, come on, Jeff. And I typed that in, and you can watch his power immediately spikes up after that. He gets up pretty high, and look at that, 4.2 for a second. So he's like, okay, I'm going to do it. He catches me pretty easy. So we ride together for a while, and coming up here in a second. So even with me and Jeff's massive combined strength, we can't hold off Justin. He catches us. And I am kind of back and forth here. Do I want to try to roll with Justin? Do I want to try to hold his wheel? Or do I want to try to stay with Jeff? Because it looks like we're going to drop Jeff. So I decided to kind of play both ends. I'm kind of like just dropping my power off just enough. And Justin's decided to, take it easy on me here. He's going to actually cut his power back and kind of let me catch on here. So, yeah, this was ideal for me. Just I get to drop my power back, and I'm going to let my heart rate really start to come down. So I was really excited to try something in this race because in a lot of these Zwift races, I never really get. I mean, I never really get to sprint. It's like it's kind of hard for me to sprint really on the trainer anyway. It's like sprinting is, you kind of need to throw your body around a lot, and usually I'm too completely exhausted. Look at that, Jeff caught back. I forgot that Jeff didn't get dropped. He come back on, and yeah. So we're gonna roll together for a while. What we got? 2 miles to go. So Justin, he's playing with us, but you can see he's just put down 4 watts per kilogram again. Not a big attack for Justin, but he's decided to go ahead and see if he can shed us easily. And look at that. Golson is okay. I can hang on. And again, I was like, do I really want to hang on to him? I don't even feel like I'm racing him. To me, it's like kind of a joke for me to be racing Justin. Like I said, he's half my age. He's not quite half my age, but he's a lot younger. He's a lot thinner, a lot stronger. He doesn't cheat as much on Zwift as I do. So, like, he's quite a bit more honest than I am. And also, too, his power is not cutting out like mine is. So that's like, I'm like, why am I even bothered him? But, I'm doing just enough watts. Look at that. Because I'm so much fatter, it's like my 2.8 or whatever will keep up with his 4, which is hilarious when I'm in the draft. But anyway, we have dropped Jeff. He is probably, I'm like, well, it's looking like he's about done. I was really proud of him for hanging on. Like I said, he's been kind of like not wanting to really race recently and worried about putting out power and stuff. And I'm like, Jeff, you're not going to die. I mean, hopefully. But anyway, so following Justin here, I had this kind of like thing. I really, look at that. Boom. He took off hard. And right there, I went to chase him. I was going to chase him. I stood up and pedaled hard and my power dropped. I was doing like 500 watts and I looked down and it said 0 for a second, 70 watts. And I knew my power cut out again. So I was just like, nope, can't. I mean, even if I wanted to, after losing contact and having that power drop, I wasn't going to catch back on. And I set up here. So, in fact, I even threw my aero boost on kind of as a joke here. I thought, I'm just going to throw the aero boost on and just stop pedaling. I don't know. But anyway, so I got it my idea like here. I was like, you know what? I'm going to make this interesting for Jeff. I'm going to see if I can get him to stay on. Because look at that. He's got like 1.7 watts right now. So I'm just pretty much just kind of free spinning here. And look at that. Jeff's like, okay, I'm going to catch Golson. He got motivated there when he saw. So I wanted to do something. I wanted to throw out a full freaking hammer down sprint. I haven't been able to do a full hammer down sprint on a Zwift race. I'm usually so completely fried just trying to hang on that by the end of the race, like I'm lucky to get 600 or 700 watts, and I was like, I want to put down some massive power. So I'm just going to float here for a little bit and let Jeff catch on and see what I can do. So this is the kind of move that only a total a-hole like me would do. Look at this. I'm just doing one. There's Jeff. He passes me. And I react a little bit slow, but then boom, put out the big watts, the Golson Cannon, 950 there. Not a huge sprint, but pretty big. And then I get by him, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to take it easy for a minute. And then I'm like, you know what? I feel like I can do it again. So then I put down another big, and look at that. I hit after the finish line. I actually hit like 1100 there. If you go look at you know, that, like, it didn't say 1100, but if you look at the Strava results, I got 1100. So yeah, I know, guys, pretty impressive. My Zwift Sprint power, that 1,000 watts that I was able to put down there. Hey, okay, so anyway, final thoughts here. I'm thinking it's going to be a good year. I feel like right now I'm on the upward swing. Uh, Taking in more fluids, taking in more salt, taking in more all that stuff seems to be helping a lot. And paying attention to giving myself some recovery time too, and fueling. I've been fueling a lot better, doing more, like, I'm like trying to eat more when I ride, so it seems to be helping. So hey, let's have a great year. See you guys.